Generating more leads can be challenging, but you'll need more leads to scale your business, so it's well worth the effort. One way to improve your lead generation is to optimize your lead capture forms so you can convert more of your website visitors into leads. Using forms to collect this information is pretty straightforward, but you have a lot of options when creating and using forms to capture lead data. I'm Alexis on the Kajabi marketing team, and today I'll cover some tips and best practices for lead capture forms so you can have a better chance of building your email list. A lead capture form is a form that asks website visitors to share their information and express interest in your messages or product. By opting in, this converts them into a lead, someone who may become a customer. So how can you use forms to generate a lead? Technically, all you need is a form somewhere on your website to capture those leads. Many websites include a form where visitors can subscribe to the business's email newsletter. But many business owners and content creators have better results generating leads by offering a lead magnet. This is something the visitor gets in exchange for sharing their personal and contact information. You could offer an introductory call, ebook, guide, or report, case study, infographic, webinar, mini course, checklist, worksheet, or quiz. If you've never made a lead magnet before, don't worry. We've got a video tutorial where we show you step-by-step how to create a lead magnet for free. Go check it out. Now let's cover the best practices. Before we dive in, it's important to underscore that there has been massive amounts of research and analysis done to determine optimal form design to improve form conversion rates. User experience and user interface is an important and broad field. We're not going to get super deep into the theory of form design because most people creating websites are not coding and designing the form interface themselves. Most people creating a website are using some kind of service that comes with templates and forms included. These services should be implementing the design best practices so you can focus on the other best practices. The first best practice to generate leads is to use double opt-in, or a two-step process to join the email list. For example, when a website visitor submits a Kajabi form using double opt-in, Kajabi automatically sends a confirmation email to the address submitted on the form. This email will prompt your form submitter to confirm their intention to subscribe and receive your sales and marketing emails before triggering any emails you may set up. So why is this important? Double opt-in can help improve email deliverability. It can indicate higher lead quality. It is an aspect of privacy data regulation compliance. And it can improve the chances that your emails go to the primary inbox instead of the promotions folder. One study from 2020 looking at more than 1 million form submissions found that having a double opt-in checkbox increased the conversion rate by 14%. Because people are basically saying they are really sure they want to sign up, you're only going to get really engaged leads. You may get fewer leads overall, but the improved quality should benefit you more in the long run. The next tip is to set up the form in a way that makes it conducive for visitors to fill it out. Adobe recommends using labels to title the fields instead of longer text. So that could look like labeling a field top fitness goal instead of asking what is your top priority when it comes to fitness. The order in which you place your fields can impact conversion too. HubSpot recommends arranging the fields from easiest to hardest. If someone sees the first field and gets surprised or feels overwhelmed at that first request for information, they may abandon the form. You set the tone by choosing engaging text for the submission button. Instead of something generic like submit or subscribe, use something that references the benefit of filling out the form. A creative call to action can make a stronger impression or build excitement. It can also showcase your brand voice and personality. Given the rise of both anti-email spam and consumer privacy laws around the world, many forms include a promise that the business will not sell the user's information or spam the email address. This can be reassuring because it shows the business owner respects their visitors' information. But users have different definitions of spam. Consider how frequently you email your leads each week or month before making a promise that you won't spam. If you heavily rely on email as a channel, you may not technically be spamming the leads, but that's often subjective based on the recipient. At a minimum, you should ask for the essential information that you need to stay in contact with the customer. This would include their name and email address. But you'll also likely want to ask for information that can help you market more effectively. Think of the primary way that you segment your audience and add a relevant question or two. Consider asking about the lead's primary challenge or interest as it pertains to your product or service. If someone is willing to fill out your lead capture form, they are likely willing to give you some additional information that will help you send them more relevant emails. There are some pieces of information that are better left off. In general, avoid asking for information that people would rather keep private than hand over in exchange for what you're offering. One survey found that over half of people do not want to give their phone number or address in a form. And asking for information that people might need to keep confidential, such as company revenue, can be a turnoff. I see that on a lot of B2B forums for downloading reports, and it feels like a roadblock. You don't want people inputting false information just to access the content behind the form, so don't ask. Of course, there may be a situation where it makes sense to ask for this information, but remember, once you have someone's contact information, you can always ask them for more in the future. The goal of a lead capture form is to get the initial buy-in from the visitor, not learn their entire life story. Another important tip is to not ask for too much information from your leads. The more fields you include, the lower the conversion rate the form is likely to achieve. Jotform studied the impact of the number of fields on the form completion. For forms with 1 to 4 fields, just under 20% of people filled out the form. For forms with 5 to 10 fields, that dropped to about 15%. Then for forms with 10 to 20 fields, only about 12% of people completed the form. So it's clear that keeping the form shorter means you're more likely to get people to complete the form, but sometimes it makes sense to use a longer form. If your aim is to attract quality or uniquely qualified leads rather than quantity, you may want to use additional fields. This can weed out people who are not really serious about your offering. I hope that was a helpful look at the ways to improve your lead capture forms. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out our other videos to uplevel your marketing.